Jets Overtime, our 2022 NFL Draft Special is presented by Dunkin. I'm Eric Allen, joined by Anthony Becht and Eric Coleman. We'll soon hear from Ethan Greenberg, Caroline Hendershot, and a cast of thousands. The Jets' 2022 draft class is complete, though, gentlemen. Anthony, the Jets picked up 4 players on the offensive side of the ball, beginning with Ohio State receiver Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, excellent job of just kind of having balance on both sides of the ball. But offensively, Garrett Wilson, arguably one of the best receivers, if not the best receivers in the draft. Very fluent, excellent playmaker, finds the end zone, and does some really good things. Breece Hall, obviously, you're a running back out of Iowa State, know him very well. Some would say best running back in the draft. I would agree with that. A lot of miles, a lot of tread on his tires, but he's a young player, really put the offense on his shoulders at Iowa State. Get you a tight end, add to the tight end room as well. A local guy, which is awesome. I think it's a great story, but he is a good player. Can do everything, very well-rounded. Didn't get a lot of balls at Ohio State. You wonder why? Because Garrett Wilson's one of the problems that he had to deal with. And, of course, you get in the back end, you get Max Mitchell, a tackle from Louisiana Lafayette. And when you talk about him, I mean, again, if you can add to the line, he's a tough player. They run the ball quite a bit there at Louisiana Lafayette, and he was one of the highest graded tackles in all of college football last year.
Outstanding story about Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State being drafted by the Jets. He used to attend practice. His family is Jets fans. They were having a big-time party when he heard his name called. How about the Jets on the defensive side of the ball? 3 defensive players, and they got this thing started with a little sauce. Ahmad Gardner out of Cincinnati.
Oh, it was a great start, and I'm sure Jeff Ulbrich is elated. You know, as you talk about Sauce Gardner, arguably the best corner in the country coming out of college. He's 6'3". He does a great job of defending. 1,000 reps. And he didn't give up 1 touchdown. And what that tells you is, yes, he has a ton of skill, but he has focus. And when you hear this kid talk, he's hungry, he's humble, he's ready to come in here and work. I think he's going to have a great effect on this team when he gets in here. Then you get Jermaine Johnson. You sneak back into the draft and get Jermaine Johnson, one of the probably the top pass rusher in the draft. And for somehow, some way, he falls to the Jets. The guy's been on a tremendous journey to get to this point. Was at Georgia, then transferred to Florida State. Before that was in a junior college, but a hard worker, just fast twitch, and is a very violent player. This guy strikes opponents, 70 tackles during the season. Anthony's been talking about it. That means that he's a defensive end. That means this guy is getting to the ball, all gas, no brakes. He's going to fit right in. And then lastly, Micheal Clemons from Texas A&M. This guy is a nasty defensive end. He's 6'5", 265 pounds with bad intentions. This guy, he disrupts the offense. He's a playmaker. He's just a good tempo guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of those guys that sets the tone for the Jets defense. So all around a great draft. I thought they got some tremendous value, and the Jets got better.
2 edges in all. You're talking about Clemons, and they got things underway with Jermaine Johnson. So speaking of Jermaine Johnson, how rare is it to have a class with 3 first-round picks? You yourself, one of the 4 aces way back in 2000.
Yeah, and, really, you could say that Breece, even though he's a second-round guy, he could have been in the mix there. But this is great.
Well, you're going to say Libertius Coles.
Yeah, I mean, we're really deep. This is a very comparable draft. Look at these guys. I mean, these guys have a chance to really set the organization in a pattern now that's heading forward. I'm excited to watch every single one of them. Can't wait till they get here. They start training. They're on the field, training camp. I think there's going to be a lot of juice heading into the season, and it's only going to make the competition even better. But these are premier guys, 3 premier players that have a chance now to be here for a very long time.
Well, we talked about Joe Douglas probably being a great poker player, probably being a great card player as well. How about the way he moved his cards here in Las Vegas? A year after going up and getting Elijah Barrett Tucker, he goes up, gets back into the first round and gets the aforementioned Jermaine Johnson. And then Breece Hall, he doesn't wait until 38. He moves up in the second round in order to get another offensive playmaker.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. After the first 2 picks, we're all sitting here like, man, the Jets had the best first round ever. And we're all very satisfied with the first 2 picks. Then you hear there's a rumbling. They trade back in to get Jermaine Johnson. I mean, people were asking if this guy was going to be, a top 5 pick. That's how good of a player that he is. For some reason, he falls down to 26. Joe Douglas makes a great move, goes and gets the player that they wanted at 26. And then you move into the second round. You sit back all night and start thinking about who are the best players available, who can help this team immediately. Breece Hall was one of those guys who's durable. He's a 3-down back. Yeah. He has a great attitude. He's going to be great for this offense. And when you talk about the offensive line, what they've done, the wide receiver improvement, you bring in Breece Hall. I mean, I don't know what else the Jets need right now. They addressed everything in free agency throughout this draft. This team is getting ready to make a good run.
All right, we're going to go on the clock here in a moment. But, Anthony, I wanted to ask you about the speed infusion here on the roster, because Joe Douglas said he's searching for freaks, athletic freaks, and he got a few more. Ahmad Sauce Gardner is tall and lanky, but he runs 4.41. You got Garrett Wilson, who's a sub 4.4 guy. Nobody was catching him at Ohio State in the Big Ten. And then Breece Hall, despite being 217 pounds, he's a sub 4.4 guy.
Yeah, speed to the football. I think that's the biggest thing. You want players that, can cover and do all the things, make tackles, but you want to get group tackling. You want all your players converging to the football defensively, and offense, the same thing. If you can get a quick strike from the quarterback to a receiver, a running back, a tight end, and let them go the distance because they have that kind of speed, it only gives you a dimension that makes you very dangerous. And now you're starting to see weapons spread out. It's not just this guy, and that's all you got to worry about. Now coordinators, whether it's offensive or defensive coordinators we're going against, they have to really worry about multiple players. I think that's going to be big for this team.
All right, let's go on the clock for one final time this draft season. We'll start with you, E. What Jets draft pick did you like the most?
Well, being a defensive back, I love Sauce Gardner. I mean, he's a game changer. He can shut down one side of the field. He can play great in-press coverage, lock down a receiver, but he does great in zone as well. So I love that pick.
Anthony, how many immediate starters did the Jets get?
I say 2 early on because, listen, Breece is going to work in. He's going to be part of the mix. He probably won't be the day one starter, but he's going to get those touches. Jermaine Johnson may be working in as far as a third down package. He'll be on the field early. But as far as, on the field, the first snap, I think Gardner and Wilson would definitely be there.
All right, so you're going conservative there. Eric, what pick surprised you the most?
That's a good one. I would say the Jermaine Johnson pick.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the Jets were out of the first round. They come back. I didn't expect him to be there. I don't think anyone expected Jermaine Johnson to be there at 26. And I think that for the value that you got, I think that pick was a big-time surprise that the Jets were able to land such a great player.
Yeah, our cameras were in there. It was such an emotional moment for the Jets, having that opportunity. Okay, Anthony, real quickly, what was the best moment of the draft?
I think after those first 3 picks, it was so, everybody's like, wow, this is really good. And you get, kind of house money. The Breece Hall pick is really spectacular. I really like this kid. He's going to bring a dimension to the running back position that could be next level for this football team. And I'm looking forward to him getting touches on the football field. He is very patient. He is very tough. He's very strong. He's got great speed.
Professor Coleman, 30 seconds. What grade did he give the Jets for the 2022 draft class?
A+. I think they had the best draft in the NFL. The value that they added, the playmakers, the speed, and the good people. These are all good kids that they added to this roster. I love it.
We're sub 15 seconds. Anthony.
Well, it's got to be an A now because when you get the late round draft picks, you don't know what you're getting there. So that brings it down just a smidge.
Eric,
we're
going to end with you. Favorite offseason move, including the draft and free agency?
I mean, I love the addition of Laken Tomlinson. Yeah. You add some strength to that already good offensive line. I love it.
Good session, fellas. All right, let's get to Ethan Greenberg right now, who had the opportunity to catch up with new Jets offensive lineman Max Micheal.
Now joined by the newest New York Jet, that's offensive lineman Max Micheal out of Louisiana. Max, congratulations. Did you have a feeling that the Jets were going to be your home? Are you surprised, or did you think that given the pre-draft process, they showed a lot of interest in you?
I definitely had a hunch. I knew they were in kind of contention for picks and stuff like that, so just excited to be here. Excited to be, picked.
So for someone that's never watched a Louisiana game before, what is Max Mitchell's game like, and what do you add to the field?
I had versatility. I've played several different. I played both tackles in college. Played guard. I'm athletic. I'm good in zone schemes. I think I can go out there and contend whatever they want me to do.
What is it about your skill set that allows you to be versatile? In college, you played guard, you played tackle, and then you found a home at right tackle this past season.
Yes, sir. I was just gifted with some athleticism, and I work hard at whatever I'm doing. So, trying to perfect, whatever I'm going after. I'm just working towards it, trying my hardest.
Can you take us through the transformation of your body from a freshman in high school and then adding all that weight to where you were as a senior?
Yes, sir. I came into college maybe 285 and a lot of baby weight. I really hadn't matured much, but I put on about 10 pounds every year, excluding senior year. Senior year, I kind of leveled off at around 300 and just continued to mature. I think that's most of what I've done in college and through this whole spring is matured as a physically and mentally. And I think that's helped me put on weight. I'm sitting around 315, 320 right now and feeling comfortable. So, I think I'm in a good spot.
All right, I want you to paint a picture for me here. What has this week been, or this weekend been like for you? What did you do yesterday? What's the plan for today? What were you doing this morning? And then what's the plan for the rest of the weekend?
Yes, sir. So I was in Lafayette for after pro day. I drove into Dallas, where I'm at now, yesterday, and excuse me, Thursday I drove in, and then today's Saturday. I'm sorry, I'm a little turned around.
All the days are jumbled together this time of year.
Yeah, they do. But had a party yesterday with some friends and family. My uncle had me a party out here, so we enjoyed it. We weren't expecting to go yesterday, or we weren't going to be upset if we didn't go yesterday. But I'm just at my uncle's house now, and we have a little smaller gathering, and we couldn't be happier.
So Max, what would your reaction be if a Monroe, Louisiana kid, if I told you that a kid from Monroe, Louisiana ended up in the bright lights of New York City playing in the National Football League?
I mean, that's a dream come true. I mean, that's something I've dreamed of since I was little. I mean, it's amazing. I think it's amazing. It's surreal to me, really.
Awesome, Max. Appreciate the time. Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Thank you so much. I thank y'all so much.
The Jets draft on Dunkin sweepstakes is back. Win Dunkin coffee for a year and 2 Coaches Club tickets with an on-the-field experience for the 2022 Jets home opener at MetLife Stadium. Visit NewYorkJets.com/Dunkin for a chance to win an official rule. You are watching Jets Overtime presented by Dunkin. Eric Allen with Anthony Becht and Eric Coleman. Let's dive right now into day 3. It wouldn't be a draft without Joel Douglas addressing the offensive line. As we all know, the Jets got the day started with the drafting of Max Micheal from Louisiana. Anthony, what did you think about the pick there?
Yeah, it's a good addition. I think you got really good value there for a player. Guys, played a lot of games. Very good run blocker. They ran the ball quite a bit. One of the top, I think they were top 30 in rushing in the country. So, a lot of getting your hand in the dirt, getting nasty with guys, defensive linemen. So he's going to bring that toughness, and I think that's good. Anytime you get add a piece that's tough, aggressive, strong, it's going to be a great addition as far as adding depth to this offensive line. I think maybe he could be a movable piece as well. So the more you can do, the better. But he's a guy that likes to finish, plays hard, fits right into kind of the mold of what Joe Douglas wants in an offensive lineman.
Yeah, he 6'6", and he's a guy that's putting on weight. And I imagine he's going to continue to put on weight, but possibly down the line, a swing tackle for you.
Absolutely. A guy who's a very good athlete, and you want them to put on weight when they get here, because they're going to do it the right way. The strength coaches here, the meals that they have here. He's a very good athletic player. He's got some good tackles that are here in the locker room that he's going to be able to learn from. So definitely going to be a nice tool.
Speaking of that, it was interesting, if we're going to talk about the tackle position. George Fant the other day, Anthony, said that he considered himself a natural left tackle. Robert Saleh was just asked about Micheal Becton downstairs. Micheal Becton has been working out with Duke Manyweather. We know that while he's awaiting the birth of his child. With that being said, Robert Saleh looked at the camera and he said, "We'd love to have you here, Micheal." What do you think about where the Jets are at in regard to the tackle position? Not just Fant and Becton, who Saleh said at the beginning of the offseason, those guys are going to compete for that left tackle job, but maybe the right tackle spot as well.
Well, yeah, I would agree with his comments there. I mean, I think all players should be here if they're not. I mean, obviously, if there's personal reasons.
It is
that's one
voluntary.
thing. Yeah, it's voluntary, but as former players, we know that, we want to be
You
there.
just put the head coach hat on there.
You want to be there. I mean, why not, right? I mean, it's getting to know your teammates, building a bond, camaraderie. There's a lot more to it than just, lifting weights and running. So it builds the culture of the locker room and the team, and I think it's important that guys do it. I mean, that voluntary, involuntary word has always been thrown around, but at the end of the day, being around it and being a part of the organization in the offseason, I think, is crucial and important. But as far as the competition, yeah, I mean, listen, doors open for a lot of guys. I think there's a lot of players on the offensive line is a pretty heavy, thick position for this football team, and guys want to play. Guys are tough, strong, nasty. They offer a little bit of a different flavor for what they can do, whether it's pass setting, run blocking, and now you add Max Mitchell to the mix, who's going to come in and listen. He's going to have his head down, and he's going to blue collar it all the way through, and he'll be here as much as he has to be, and he's going to try to carve a path for himself. So I think every year you add pieces. Every year you have guys, and then the returning guys. My mentality was, even though I was a first-round pick, I always came in and had the mentality that somebody was trying to take my job, or I wasn't the starter. And if you have that mentality, that'll drive you, hopefully a long career.
And we talked about the numbers there at the tackle position. Chuma Ndoga's still on this roster. Connor McDermott as well, caught that great touchdown pass last year, who could vie for some spots, reps at the tight end position. But what would a healthy Mekhi Becton do for this team and this offensive line? You mentioned Tomlinson being your favorite offseason addition. You got Elijah Vera-Tucker, was very impressive in year one. He moves over to right guard. Connor McGovern had a good year at the center position. Anthony and I were talking about it actually this morning. He said, you know what? Those two guards are going to even help Connor take his game to the next level. And then competition there with Fant and Becton.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that offensive line. That's the ultimate unit. They're kind of like their own team and when you go into the locker room. But I think when you add a healthy Mekhi Becton into the offensive line, whether he's at left or right tackle, it helps you, one, in the run game because he's a physical, nasty player who can move any defender out of the way. Also in the passing game, he does a great job of pass protecting. So, I think it does nothing but help you. When he was coming out of college, he's graded one of the best left tackles coming out. Anytime you can get a player of that ilk on the field helping your team, it's going to be a big bonus.
Speaking of nastiness, the Jets came back 10 picks after taking Mitchell, taking a mean dude from Texas A&M and Micheal Clemons. You love that tape, huh?
Oh, I love it. I love it. He's so physical. The way that he manhandles tackles and tight ends, it's impressive. He plays with a mean streak. I think Coach Salas said he's the nastiest player in the draft. I mean, this guy's going to bring an attitude and a spirit to this Jets defense that maybe they don't have. But, I think that it's going to be great with the veterans that they already have on this defense and in this locker room. I think it's going to do nothing but help Clemons grow as an NFL player. He's going to be a big-time impact player on this team and make a lot of plays.
Anthony, he put up really impressive numbers at Texas A&M, and that's the best conference in the land, the SEC.
Yeah, production is key. It's always important to have it. I mean, you don't want a guy to come in and you think, okay, well, he doesn't have numbers and projections, but we have the potential of getting him better and take him to the next level. You want to see something on film that sticks out. I think he's good against the run. He's good against the pass. You talked about it. The one thing that really kind of sticks out, he's a heavy-handed guy, so when you feel him when he's coming at you, stands a little bit tall when he plays, when he's pass rushing, but, he'll fight you. In general, I think, he could be a good spark in practices, in particular early on, just kind of, getting a little of that fire on a day-to-day basis, and I think that's a good. Adding those kind of pieces are nice. Sprinkle them on the field. He'll be one of those guys.
All right, we're going to get to Caroline Hendershot in just a second, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the defensive line as a whole now. Carl Lawson, you get him back in the fold. I can't wait to watch him once again and hopefully suit up for the green and white, that regular season opener, wherever it is, whether it's at MetLife Stadium, which will be crazy, or on the road, of course. But you had Jermaine Johnson, a guy who Robert Saleh said, for us, he is the most pro-ready pass rusher for our system out of anybody. You add Clemons to the mix. John Franklin Myers was extended last year. The Jets love his versatility. Mm-hmm. He really can take advantage of guys on the inside. You get John Franklin Myers against the guard, you're going to win that. We know what Quinton Williams can do. his talent in terms of being an interior penetrator. You got Sheldon Rankins. What do you think about this defensive line as a whole now, post-draft?
I think they're ready to roll. This is a very efficient unit. You talk about Quinnen Williams, a Pro Bowl type player for years to come. He's a guy who's a disruptor. He's going to demand a double team, and that just opens things up for the rest of the guys. When you add Carl Lawson, a healthy Carl Lawson into the fold, I mean, that's all we heard about in training camp was Carl Lawson and how effective he was against the tackles of the Jets. And it's just, it's going to be exciting to get a healthy version of him back on the field. We know how hard he works. We know how he's going to rub off on these young defensive ends. Jermaine Johnson is definitely going to be in for a treat, learning from a guy like that who has a high motor, who knows how to work hard and be efficient. He has to, because he doesn't have the physical capabilities. So you're going to learn all the different skill sets. And I think as a unit, this defensive line is going to thrive, and they're going to get helped out a lot by Sauce Gardner being on the field as well.
Yeah, Robert Saleh can't get enough defensive linemen. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Vinny Curry, the veteran who's coming back this year. Nathan Shepard re-signed in the offseason, and the Jets did get an athletic freak late in 2021. That was Jonathan Marshall, so we'll have to see how he progresses as well. But strength in numbers, and he got some big-time frontline talent up there for the green and white. But speaking of Micheal Clemons, here's Caroline.
Here with the newest New York Jet defensive lineman, Micheal Clemons. Michael, how are you feeling? You just got drafted. What are the emotions running through your head right now?
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to be part of the New York Jets organization. This is a dream come true, and I'm ready to get to work.
When you were in the pre-draft process, did you talk with Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas and get a sense from them that you might be coming to the Jets?
I talked to one member of the New York Jets organization throughout the draft process. I guess it was a good impression.
So Joe Douglas has described your style of play as tough and physical. How else would you describe your style of play?
I'm going to say tough, physical, high motor, relentless pursuit to the ball, and hard-working guy.
I know you started playing running back and linebacker before you added 40 pounds and transitioned into a defensive lineman. How has playing those other two positions helped you with this position?
Well, as far as playing running back goes, it helps me now because I understand zone schemes of an offense and the kind of blocks that they're trying to give on any given play. Linebackers, because it's defense, and I had to know the game more. So both those two positions helps me as a defensive lineman to play faster.
I know you've had a long journey to get to this point. You started at Cisco Community College before finding your home at Texas A&M. If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing about this journey you've been on, what do you think you would tell him?
I'd tell him it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But you're more than capable of pushing through, and you're strong enough.
You were born and raised in Texas. Have you ever been to New York before?
I've never been to New York.
What's the one thing you're most looking forward to about being in New York and playing for the Jets? Yeah?
Experiencing the win in New York.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, congratulations, Michael. We're so excited to see you in the green and white, and go enjoy the rest of your day. You've earned it.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Can't wait to get there.
The New York Jets Schedule Challenge presented by JetBlue is back. Win $100,000 by correctly predicting the exact order of all 17 games, including the bye week. Visit jetschedulechallenge.com for a chance to win and official rules. The 2022 New York Jets schedule presented by JetBlue is coming Thursday, May 12th. Sign up to be the first to know at nyjets.com/schedule release. You are watching Jets Overtime presented by Dunkin. I'm Eric Allen with Anthony Becht and Eric Coleman. This is our 2022 draft special. Anthony, this offseason has a completely different feel for the Jets. This roster is starting to take shape, and it's full of talented young players.
It is. It's exciting. I kind of envisioned this as you saw the draft capital the last 2 years. When the staff first got here, and Joe obviously with the new staff in place, there was a plan. There's a vision. I think everybody, all the Jets fans, everybody wants to win now, and I'm there with you. I'm totally there. I mean, everybody wants it to happen, but you have to have the pieces in place. If you don't have the pieces in place, to practice every day and bring in new players and really have that vibe, I think this roster now with youth, talent, guys locked in the contracts, you have a quarterback that's young. You got something here, man. So it's just a matter of now coaching staff really putting these guys together, getting them ready to go, and staying healthy. Obviously, is going to be a big deal as well for this football team. And if we can get this roster on the field week one, it's going to be fun to watch.
Has this draft, after a strong free agency period for Joe Douglas and company, changed your expectations for this squad?
It has. It definitely has. I expect the Jets to be competing for an AFC title right now. They have all the tools. They have the wide receivers. They have the offensive line, the defensive line. You can control the line of scrimmage. You got the quarterback. They have all the pieces right now. Then you add in all these great players, these playmakers. It's going to be a nice vibe. The younger players that they have on this team have a ton of experience. They have a nice mix of veterans on the team. They're tough. They play hard. They play fast, and they play smart. So I think this draft 100% changed my opinion of this season.
Zach Wilson was drafted number 2 overall last year. That was the first pick in the Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh era. A year later, Wilson is set up to experience success because he's not going to have to do it on his own.
No, he's going to have great backs behind him, excellent tight ends, a security blanket. He's going to have receivers that can catch a ball anywhere and score, guys that are route runners. And the offensive line is good. I mean, these pieces can come together and really help a quarterback be successful. It does take a lot of the pressure off, and it's very simple. When you're talking about coming back in the same system the next year and learning the mistakes and going through everything you went through the first year, and now you say, you know what? Man, that was easy. I could have did it this way, or I could have did it that way, or the read was simple. Why did I overthink it? All that stuff now, he's going to process that information, and he should make big strides. Like you said, your expectation level is high. Mine is as well, because there's a lot of quarterbacks now that are excelling first, second years in the league. And now that because they have pieces, you look at those successful quarterbacks, they got pieces. Now he's got some pieces. The system is good. They kind of sparked a little bit towards the end of the season offensively, and I think it's something to build on.
Yeah, you got a lot of explosive targets, and you added to that mix. We're watching Rucker right now, but Garrett Wilson, wow, what he can do with the yards after the catch. Sub 4.4, pairing him up with Elijah Moore and company. Zach Wilson's got to be feeling mighty good. What excites you most, though, about the defense? We talked about the defensive line and what's changed up front, but the secondary, that landscape is just completely changed over the past 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, you added a lot of speed and experience. DJ Reed, and you bring him in at cornerback, and then Sauce Gardner, a guy who can plug in right now, lock down one side of the field, open up what you can do as a defense. You can open up your blitzes. You can play more man-to-man coverage, or you can sit back in the zone and let your defensive line eat because these guys have enough speed to cover on the back end. Whitehead is a fantastic player.
Yep.
He is a violent player who makes a lot of splash plays. There's going to be a lot of big plays, a lot of turnovers, a lot of forced turnovers, a lot of pass breakups from this defense because they're going to be playing fast and playing so hard.
Jordan Whitehead joins the mix in free agency. LaMarcus Joyner re-signs with the Jets. He only played one game last season, one out. They got high hopes for him. DJ Reed comes over in free agency. You draft Ahmad Sauce Gardner. The Jets, they've been doing some work this offseason. With that being said, this has a chance to be a foundational draft class for the green and white after they had one in 2021. Historic one, nonetheless. 3 draft picks in the first round. Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and, of course, Jermaine Johnson leading the way for sights and sounds of the weekend. And we want to hear from some of the guys as we sign off.
Man, it feels so unreal. Like, my body, I got the butterflies still, so I don't even know how to, adjust to it. I've been through a lot in my past, but I don't forget about it, and that just keep me going. Just want to always be able to take care of my mom, and the fact that I just got drafted to the New York Jets, I'm going to be able to accomplish that.
The bracelets you're wearing today say humble over hype. Why do you wear these? it's what I want to live by. It's what I want to embody. And I feel like if you're humble, that can take you a long way itself. And I feel like I do a pretty good job of being humble.
They see how I play football. It's very evident on film. And the Jets being one of the only organizations running that defensive scheme they run in the league today, I fit it. And, they're just raving about it. And, they're raving about not only that and my play on the field, but me as a person, me as a man. That meant everything. And I can't wait to just come here and give everything I got to the Jets.
What's your message to Jets fans right now? Like, what type of player, what type of person are they getting in you?
They got the best running back in this draft, and they got a person who's going to be great on the field and great off the field. So, just somebody who's going to give their all on the field, but somebody who's going to be able to impact the community off the field.
Once that phone rang, everybody, you could hear a pin drop, and then once I stood up to my brother to grab his hat, it erupted. Jets chants going off left and right. Everybody here is ecstatic. I don't know who's more excited, me or them, but it's a dream come true. I grew up going to games. I grew up going to training camp. I grew up being a Jets fan, so I'm just excited.
If I told you that a kid from Monroe, Louisiana ended up in the bright lights of New York City playing in the National Football League.
That's a dream come true. That's something I've dreamed of since I was little. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. It's surreal to me, really.
I'm gonna say tough physical, high motor, relentless pursuit to the ball, and hard working guy. Can't wait to get there.